Hello by watching this video. My name is JustBot and welcome back to my Pokemon gym of every type. Fire type to me is one of the more divisive types. And that's because I don't really like it, but I also tend to use it a lot. Let me explain though. Fire typing to me feels like it has some of the weakest parity amongst its type. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of middle ground. Either it's really good and can sweep any team it comes up against, or it's really bad and can just get knocked out in one hit. Now, in the more recent gens, they've gotten a little bit better at filling out the rest of the Pokedex to make sure there's a little bit more of a middle ground, but even still, it's still really hard to get a Fire-type Pokemon early on in early generations unless you pick the starter, which kind of sucks and takes some of the fun out of your starter choice because it's either a Fire-type or you don't get it till you hit level 40. So since this is a type that I don't particularly like too much, this has become one of the hardest teams for me to put together, so we'll see how this goes. For Gym 1, our lead will be Houndour. Houndour to me is one of the only Fire-type Pokemon you can usually pick early on, considering the fact there aren't too many Fire types that can actually evolve before level 30, as well as it has decent type coverage with the Dark typing kind of early on. Even though Bite you don't really get till 16, I think that's a borderline level lead for our first gym. And our ace of the first gym will be Fletchinder. Fletchinder feels like one of the only Pokemon that isn't too overpowered early on or too weak. There really is this very delicate balance between really strong and very weak Fire-type Pokemon, and Fletchinder seems to be really one of the only few that ends up threading the needle to where it's a decent challenge for the first gym. Our first TM will be Flame Charge. Now, obviously that's a much better TM for Fletchinder than it is for Houndour, but yet again, there really isn't much you can pick from early on in terms of Fire-type moves. Gym 2 will stick with Houndour as the lead. Fletchinder will move off the ace slot though in room for our new ace, Carkol. Now, originally I was actually going to have Ballet Form or Choreo in this slot, hopefully I pronounced that right, but then when I was looking it up, I realized it didn't learn a single Fire-type move except for Revelation Dance at level 40, which is also technically a normal type move because it just changes types with what tile of order for Choreo you have or whatnot, but it's either Revelation Dance or Sunny Day, which I can't do. So that's why Carkol is going to step in as our ace for the second gym. Now, Carkol is actually a Pokemon I really like. It just really wasn't a Pokemon I really had in mind initially because of that 4 times weakness to water and ground, which are already big weaknesses to begin with. But for now, it slides in pretty decently. Plus, I think Steam Engine's kind of fun to go ahead and pair with it right now, considering the fact that we'll also have Flame Charge because that's our TM that we're giving out. So I think it actually ended up better this way. Gym 3, we're going to go ahead and pop Houndour off of that lead spot and slide in Fletchinder. Carkol will also move off of the ace and move up to our middle slot of the lineup to make room for our brand new Houndoom. Now, Houndoom does feel a little strong as a third gym lead, but at the same time, there really isn't that many great options, and plus with the team being so weak to water, I feel like there's enough water types early on to where you can chip away on a Houndoom and not have too many issues. I do think it is time to change our TM though, as Flame Charge really does not fit Houndoom at all. I don't even think it learns it, to be honest. I didn't look it up though. So I've barely played Gen 9, but the minute that I saw there was a move called Burning Jealousy, I knew I had to use it, especially when I saw that Houndoom can learn it. Now, is it probably a little overpowered for Gym 3? 100%. It was either that or Sunny Day, and Sunny Day's kind of been a little overplayed as a Sun team in a lot of Fire-type gyms, especially because there, like I said, not many Fire-type TMs to choose from that are good early game. Gym 4, though, our lead and ace will actually end up staying the same. We could actually use a whole bunch of beef up the middle of the team, though, so in comes Centiskorch. Centiskorch is actually one of the few Pokemon I feel like fits very well in that mid-tier of Fire-type Pokemon. If you looked at his base stat total, though, you would think that he's a little bit stronger than just kind of mid, but because it's a little bit of an even spread between his attack and special attack, it brings him down a little bit in terms of his viability. Plus, also, Firebug has an absolute ton of weaknesses, so it really does even out any of the strong base stat total that Centiskorch can bring in. And with that, our TM will stay Burning Jealousy. Gym 5 is actually gonna stay the exact same, so we're just gonna move past that. Gym 6 is gonna add a brand new team member, being Rotom Heat. Initially, I was actually gonna have Scoville in here because water types only hit it for neutral damage. But as I was putting it together and remembered Rotom Heat was a thing, I just kind of really prefer Rotom Heat more, especially with the Levitate ability. We do know what Rotom is going to do though. It's going to be Overheat, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, Thunderbolt, all these powerful moves, so I think that's what makes Rotom Heat such a viable team member. The other thing that's going to happen with our team at this point is our Fletchinder is finally going to evolve into Talonflame. Talonflame is still going to go ahead and be our lead. I just feel like a very good lead to just come in, be quick, do a whole bunch of chip damage to every single thing that it runs into, and just put it for worse for wear, so a Pokemon like a Rotom Heat or a Houndoom can come in and really chip away really quickly. Houndoom will still be our ace, even though I don't necessarily think our strongest option at this point in time, and our TM is going to go ahead and switch finally over to Flamethrower, because, you know, Flamethrower is great for literally every single circumstance. Gym 7 is going to have a little bit of a swap of some middle evolutions. We're going to go ahead and swap Carkol with Lampet. Now, Carkol typically would probably be evolved here by Gym 7, but because of me wanting to go ahead and put Lampet on the team, I felt like I shouldn't evolve Carkol yet. But also the reason that we have a middle stage so late is Litwick doesn't evolve into Lampet until level 41. And I feel like Lampet should have at least a little bit of a run before it can go ahead and evolve. But one other thing though that will happen with this team is our Houndoom will go ahead and get a brand new item. Mega Houndoom is here, and to me, very strong, but also still yet not overpowered. At Gym 7, sure, Houndoom is a lot to handle, but definitely not too much. Mega Houndoom to me always felt like one of the more balanced megas out there and such. It's something that you could certainly deal with when you run into it, and still, like I said, really Earthquake, Scald, any really strong water or ground type move really is still just going to do a ton of damage to Houndoom. So I think it isn't too overpowered to have a mega here, even though I typically try not to do too many megas. Gym 8 is here now to finish off a really strange team of a really difficult team to put together for me. Leading off will still be Talonflame, as it has for a long time now and been a really strong and core part of this team. Next up will be our Senscorch to be able to come in and be a nice balanced offensive threat. Third, it's our newly added Darmanitan. I've always really liked Darmanitan, especially because of the Zen mode ability, even though it's not particularly that good. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's still a really fun ability and something that I can have a lot of fun with as a part of my team. Following that up will be our Rotom Heat with doing stuff that Rotom Heat does. For the penultimate Pokemon, we will go ahead and use that Duskstone and turn that Lampet into a Chandelure. Chandelure just being really fun, diverse, strong, very hard-hitting special attack, and I just enjoy having a Ghost type to have that normal type immunity, even though it doesn't really affect a Fire-type team. And of course, our ace of the team will continue to be a very mad and very spiky Mega Houndoom. So, those would be my Fire-type gyms. Yeah, I know, not quite as detailed or creative as I had for the Normal-type gym, but the Normal-type gym I had thought of before I'd done the series. Versus Fire types, like I said, not particularly a type I really like. Plus, I also really didn't have as much time for this video as I did the Normal type gym, so it got a little rushed. Hopefully the next one I'll have a lot more time with, because I'll get a little bit further ahead early on. But thanks for sticking with me through this Fire type gyms. Please let me know what you guys would have as your Fire type gyms. And other than that, I would love to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, enjoy, it's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.